Good afternoon. Welcome sa press briefing ni Presidential Communications Secretary Martin Andanar. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Rocky. Magandang hapon po sa lahat ng miyembro ng MPC at sa lahat ng nanonood ng PTV at nakikinig po sa Radyo ng Bayan. The memo to all cabinet members and agencies regarding the release of official statements is meant merely to facilitate communication line and harness any palace message to avoid confusion or disinformation. Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea was making clear the delineation of tasks in the executive in the interest of shared goals that are aligned with the President's aspirations for a safe, secure, and better future for Filipinos. On the release of one Indonesian kidnapped victim and one Filipino businesswoman from Zamboanga del Norte, government's focused military operations against the Abu Sayyaf or ASG continue to gain headway. This successful rescue operation was a result of continuous collaboration with different units of the AFP and PNP, with the help of civilians who informed and alerted troops on the presence of armed men. On Standard & Poor's assessment to maintain the country's BBB investment grade ratings, we welcome S&P's decision as it gives government greater resolve to make our economy growth robust, sustainable, and inclusive. The fundamentals of the economy are solid and strong. We are the fastest growing economy in the second quarter of 2016, and we shall seize this economic momentum to bring about inclusive development to our people. Any hiccups to slow growth or any hiccups to slow down growth will depend on the overall performance of global economy. The President's commitment in the anti-illegal drug campaign and criminality will enhance the country's image to attract more foreign investments. Peace and order is a must for investors to invest more in the country. And we thank the Filipino for having a better appreciation of the positive changes now happening under this administration. As we all know, consumer optimism soared at the start of this presidency. Questions, please.
Okay, first question will come from Maricela Lili.
Hi, Sec. Good afternoon. Just a clarification on the memo. Does it mean that it's synonymous to a gag order against other cabinet secretaries? So only the official spokesperson and PCO are allowed to speak on behalf of the President?
Hindi naman siya synonymous to a gag order, Maricel. Ang ibig lang hong sabihin ng memo ay kinaklaro lang ho nito kung saan manggagaling ang official message ng ating Pangulo at kung meron po tayong mga katanungan or if we want to clarify some of the pronouncements of the President ay dumaan ho tayo sa Presidential Communications Office. As a matter of fact, nakalagay po doon sa memo ni Executive Secretary Bingbong Medialdea na kapag tinanong po ang mga kalihim patungkol sa mga bagay na may kinalaman sa kanilang departamento, pwede po naman silang sumagot. Wala po namang nakalagay doon na hindi na pwede magpa-interview ang ating mga kalihim.
May follow-up question about Raymond Pinasa, Bombo Radyo.
So, sorry. Sir, so just to clarify also, with regards to CPLC Attorney Panelo, because he usually answers questions on the matters being asked by the reporters. So, he's not barred to answer any queries from the reporters as a CPLC, or can we clarify on how we could quote him?
Wala namang bar dito. Si Secretary Salpanelo ay isang magaling na abogado, matalino, at siya po ang Chief Presidential Legal Counsel. So kung ano pong sasabihin ni Secretary Salpanelo, ay meron pong siyang karapatan bilang Chief Presidential Legal Counsel. Ang nais lang po ipaabot ng ating Chief Executive Secretary Bingbong Medialdea ay yung mga official statements lang po ng ating Pangulo.
Thank you, sir.
May follow-up question about Pia? Other
on
issue
the
yan?
Standard and Poor rating.
Wait lang may issue pa about may question? No? Okay, Pia.
Sir, just on your statement on the Standard and Poor rating, Standard and Poor's rating, as it gave a positive outlook, or it retained the outlook from the previous years, but it also noted weaknesses under the Duterte administration, specifically his statements on foreign policy and national security. What is the palace's message with regards to this perceived weakness, and how do we assure businessmen or investors that despite these weaknesses, or maybe to disregard this weakness, what is our message? What is our reaction to that clause?
Yung tanong mo ay gusto mo ng detalyadong sagot. Kaya ako po in-invite dito ang ating Secretary ng DTI para mamaya ipaliwanag niya yung mas detalyadong sagot sa mga katanungan po ninyo.
Pero sir, just on the palace statement, since he's speaking as a DTI secretary, how about the palace's official statement?
That was the official statement I gave earlier.
Question kay Secretary.
Sir, that was your official statement on the general outlook, but I'm asking sir about yung clause na the weaknesses regarding President Duterte's statements causing people to think that hindi na po stable yung business environment. Does the palace have any comment on that specific?
Tuloy-tuloy po naman ang programa ng ating Pangulo patungkol sa ating ekonomiya. Nandyan po yung poverty alleviation na ipapababa ang ating poverty rating from 26 to 17%. Ito po yung ating target, ano? At tuloy-tuloy pa rin po naman yung ating roadmap to peace. Itong roadmap to peace ay napakahalaga po nito para mas maging stable po ang ating seguridad, stable ang ating bansa, and therefore makakatulong po ito sa ating pangkalatang ekonomiya.
Celerina?
Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon.
Sir, related to your statement earlier that any hiccups depend on global economy. So are you saying that right now there's no risk domestically on our economy?
What I'm saying is that we are a globalized economy, and since kasama po tayo sa globalized economy, we are very much dependent also on our ASEAN neighbors, and we are also dependent on the other regions. Now, any changes in the economy abroad and the world economy will definitely also affect the Philippines.
But domestically, wala kayong nakikita so far.
Domestically, we're okay,
Sir,
very strong.
I'm asking that because there was in relation to the statement
yeah.
of SNP that they were somewhat concerned on the predictability of the policy making of the Philippines because it's somewhat diminished under this administration.
The President has time and again reiterated na lahat po ng mga kontrata ng mga nakarang administrasyon ay rerespetuhin po ng ating Pangulo. Lahat po ng mga treaties na pinirmahan natin kasama yung ating mga allies ay rerespetuhin ng ating Pangulo. So far, wala namang inabrogate na kontrata or mga pinirmahang treaty ang ating gobyerno. We are very consistent.
Okay, thank you, Celerina. Jonah Viray? Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm
Good
Jonah
afternoon.
from Asahi Shimbun.
Hi,
I'd just
Jonah.
like to ask about the President's trip next week to Vietnam. What gains do we hope to get out of it? And after Vietnam, there's supposed to be a trip to Japan. And I'd like to confirm the dates as well as that for China. Thank
Malaki
you.
po malaking objective po sa ating biyahe o sa working visit ng ating Pangulo sa ASEAN, sa Vietnam at sa iba pang bansa ay ang ating bilateral economic trade. At mamaya ay sasagutin po yan ni Secretary Mon Lopez.
Are we going to discuss the South China Sea issue during the Vietnam trip?
It will be discussed, I'm sure.
No more question? Secretary?
Si Benji.
Benji Liwanag?
Tinanong mo yung Japan and China. Ay, ang sigurado kasi yung Vietnam. So, wala pang binibigay kasi sa akin sa opisina na kung yung eksaktong petsa para sa Japan or China. No? So,
Use the microphone,
Sir,
please,
which
Jana.
will come first, the trip to Japan or China?
siguro, antayin natin yung official word from the Department of Foreign Affairs para hindi po tayo makuryente.
Okay, thank you, Jana. Benji, liwanag.
Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
With regards dun sa panibagong statement ng Pangulo sa EU, anong take ng Palace dito? Have you talked with the President about this, sir?
Naglabas kami ng statement about that yesterday. At yung take po namin dito ay yung konteksto ng ating giyera kontra illegal na droga sa Pilipinas ay dapat maintindihan ng ating mga kaibigan sa European Union.
Will this not affect investments coming from European Union dito sa Pilipinas, sir?
Hindi naman siguro dahil wala naman din tayong mga kontrata na nilalabag or mga kinakansela sa European Union. Tuloy-tuloy naman ang negosyo, ang kalakalan between our country and the European continent.
Isa pa, sir, isa sila dun sa pinakamalaking naibigay, naibahagi nung sinalanta tayo ng Yolanda. Yung relationship between the EU and the Philippines, are we considering this as matatag pa rin or something?
Hindi, matatag pa rin. Again, yung sinasabi po ng ating Pangulo at inuulit po natin ay we have an independent foreign policy. At tayo po ay isang soberenya na dapat po nirerespeto ng ibang soberenya o ibang organization or regional organization.
Thank you.
Thank you, Benji. Catherine Valente.
Ay, sir, follow up lang po dun sa memo. Ano po yung maaaring mangyari if ever po yung mga cabinet officials, they will not follow po such order? Meron po bang penalty or...
Wala naman.
Wala
Wala naman, Catherine. Ang ibig sabihin lang ho nun ay... squat. ang ibig sabihin lang ho nun ay para maliwanagan ho tayo lahat, hindi lang ang media, maging ang mga miyembro ng gabinete, na ang official statement ng Pangulo at official line ay manggagaling sa Presidential Communications Office, maliban ho sa Pangulo, sa kanya mismo nang galing. Yun ho ang ibig sabihin yan. At this is to also manage the expectation of the public na kung hindi galing sa PCO ang pagpapaliwanag doon sa hinihingi niyong klarifikasyon, no? Ang sinabi ng ating Pangulo ay hindi yun opisyal. Ang opisyal ay galing sa PCO. Unless sinabi po ng ating opisina na ay mas kayang ipaliwanag sa atin ni Secretary Mon Lopez, then siya ho ang magiging official spokesperson for that particular issue.
Like, Secretary, question lang din. Halimbawa, yung statement coming from the Department of Justice, ang nag-release ay PCO, pwede namin sabihin official statement na rin ng Palace yun.
Kasi usually naman, Rocky, pag ganon, halimbawa, meron kaming correspondence ni Secretary Vitaguire, ay pinapaalam ko naman sa kanya. Sabi ko, Sec, kami ba magre-release nito o kayo? So, pag sinabi niya, hindi, kayo na, mag-release niyan. So, that's the only time that I also released the statement.
Yes, okay. Thank you, Secretary. Raymond Tinasa. Sige, Benji, Raymond Tinasa muna.
Sir, just your statement to the recent pronouncement of Senator De Lima, where she's saying that she no longer feels safe after the developments in the House inquiry. So, is there a basis for her fear of threat or any danger to her life?
Yung basis ho na yun ay si Senator De Lima lang ho ang makakasagot dahil hindi pa ho kami nag-uusap tungkol dun sa sinabi niya. Pero whatever the Senate does or the lower house does, it's really up to them. No? It's kung ano po yung mga investigasyon na nangyayari sa mga babang kapulungan at sa Senado, ay ito po dahil sila ay independent at co-equal branch of government at wala hong kinalaman at wala hong hindi ho makikialam ang palasyo.
Sir, because she was saying that she no longer also, she doesn't trust anymore the authorities, even perhaps her police escorts. Is there actually a move from the government to go after her, to, just to pressure her to give up?
Hindi ko alam, Raymond, pero let me call the senator and ask her.
Yeah, but nonetheless, is she assured from the government side of her safety?
Everyone is assured. We are all Filipinos. We are citizens of this beloved country. At lahat po tayo bilang Pilipino ay may karapatan ho tayo na bigyan seguridad ng ating kapulisan at ating mga sundalo.
Okay, GMA7, Rida Reyes.
Hi sir, good afternoon po. Sir, follow up on Senator De Lima. Kanina po she was asking for clarification dun sa sinabi ni Secretary Aguirre na meron siyang tinutukoy na mas mataas pa kay Senator De Lima na apparently ay involved sa drug trade sa Bilibid. Ito raw po ba si Pinoy?
Hindi ko alam kung sinong tinutukoy ni Secretary Vit Aguirre.
Benji Liwanag din Maricel.
Sir, ganun pa rin kay Senator De Lima.
Opo.
Ang statement ni Senator De Lima kanina, parang yung pinilit daw umano yung ilan sa mga tumistigo or may kapalit kaya pinagsasalita. What's the take? Ano po ang take ng palas dito?
The senator is entitled to her own opinion. And the senator, of course, is defending herself. That's her right. Sa tanong na yun, Benji, ang dapat sumagot doon ay si Secretary Vit Aguirre
Okay, thank you, Benji.
na mas malalimang sagot.
Thank you very
Maricel.
much, sir.
Thank you.
Maricel and then Henry.
Secretary, just follow-up. Sabi ni Senator De Lima yung mga statement daw na lumalabas ngayon from the government, especially kay Secretary Aguirre, is reckless in a way. Kasi especially, sinabi nga na meron pang isang higher official from Yellow Group na involved sa drug trade. What's your reaction on this?
I would rather have Secretary Vit Aguirre answer the statements of the senator kasi sila po yung madalas magkita at sila po yung nagkakaroon ng konfrontasyon at the Senate or at the lower house.
Henry, I'm sorry.
I understand, Secretary, that you gave assurance for the security of Senator De Lima. But apparently, dahil dun sa paglabas daw ng kanyang cellphone number sa congressional hearing, ang daming nang pupuli sa kanya sa mga text messages and most of them are Duterte supporters. Do you have any message for the supporters or for Senator De Lima?
Yeah, for the supporters po ng ating Pangulo ay maging responsable ho tayo sa ating mga tinetext, no? Hindi ho maganda yung we are threatening our own, no? Siyempre, senador po natin si Senador De Lima. She is an elected official of the land. At ganun din po ang ating mensahe sa mga media men na hinaharas sa social media space. I understand that and we all know that the social media is a free space and we can say whatever we want to say. Pero siguro ang pakiusap po natin ay wag ho tayong magsakitan ng mga pinopost natin sa social media at lalong-lalo na ho ay wag ho tayong iwasan ho natin na i-threaten yung ating mga kasamaan sa media. It's It's just basic thing, you know. You don't want something, do unto others what you want others to do unto you.
Henry on de Lima.
Secretary, magandang hapon po. Ano na ang kasalukuyang tunay na mukha ng bayan sa larangan po nitong kampanya sa droga? Totoo bang bumagsak na ang supply ng shabu? Nakakalakad na nga ba ng walang sagabal sa Quiapo kahit 2:00 ng madaling araw? Ano ba ito? Ito ba'y totoo o isang pahayag lamang mula po sa palasyo?
Yan ay totoo. Ito'y na marami tayong mga kaibigan na nagtatrabaho sa gabi. May mga waiters, mga security guard na kausap natin. Meron din tayong mga kasama sa opisina na sila mismo nagkukwento sa atin na hindi na sila nangangamba ngayon, no? Pag umuwi sila ng hating gabi or late at night, yung mga barangay ho natin ay dinidisiplina po ang ating mga kabataan. Meron nga nagkwento, isa sa mga kasamahan ko na dito sa may area ng Cubao, merong batingaw, no? Tapos yung mga bata pag 9:00 umuwi na. It's safer. At kahit sino naman siguro dito sa loob ng kwartong ito ay kung kayo po ay nakatira sa mga area na yung hindi gated na subdivision, malaman nyo na nagbago ho talaga yung klima ng ating bayan.
Pangalawang katanungan, sir. Ano ang mas mahigpit pang hakbang ng administrasyong gagawin para sa pagsugpo ng droga? Nagtatapos na ba tayo sa pagpapangalan at dito sa pagpapaharap nitong mga malalaking tao sa bilibid na tumitistigo ngayon sa Kongreso?
Tuloy-tuloy ang programa ng ating gobyerno. Ito'y komprehensibo, hindi lang ho hanggang sa yung operation ng ating kapulisan, no? Hindi lang hanggang dun sa paghuli ng mga drug pusher o drug user o pag-surrender. Nandyan ho yung ating rehabilitasyon na sa ngayon ay tinatrabaho na po nating gobyerno. Kasama yung Department of Health, DSWD, kasama yung ating Armed Forces of the Philippines, kasama yung AFP, at kasama rin yung mga faith-based groups. I understand na si PNP General Bato ay nagpunta ng Colombia para pag-aralan din yung sistema doon kung paano napababa yung drug use doon. So mahabang proseso ito. It needs a comprehensive solution. Hindi lang ho ito mangyayari in overnight. Na kita po natin ating Pangulo ay humingi po ang ating Pangulo ng 6 na buwan na karagdagang 6 na buwan dahil nakita niya po yung extent ng problema ng ating mamamayan pagdating sa illegal na droga.
Sir, kaya niyo bang hamunin at samahan 10 oras ng gabi kung saan man dito sa Metro Manila yung mga kritikong hindi naniniwala sa kampanya ng administrasyon? Tahimik na?
No, kaya naman. Kung sino mga kritiko, di lumabas tayo.
Kaya ninyong samahan kahit saan critical na lugar.
Itong Metro Manila naman, naikot ko na rin. Ako'y police beat reporter. Alam ko naman kung nasan nung magulo. Alam ko naman kung alin din yung hindi magulo. So, sasamahan ko kahit sino. New York Times, sino pa? New Yorker, lalo yung mga foreign media, no? Pag natin samahan. In fact, ang ginawa ko nga every time kumakontak sa atin yung foreign media, ay kino-connect ko sila sa Philippine National Police at sa DILG kay Undersecretary John Castriones, no? Para samahan sila dun sa mga lugar na kilala na talamak ang droga.
Alright.
Thank you, Henry.
Thank you.
Sir, mag-take pa kayo ng question.
Siguro si Secretary, may lakad ba si Secretary?
Si Benji and then dalawa na lang, si Benji and Pia. Sir.
Sir, nanood kayo nung hearing kahapon sa Congress. Pakinggan nga po yung sinabi ni Secretary Vitaliano Aguirre na nagpapasalamat yung mga preso sa kanya. Maraming tumatawag sa kanya at nagpapasalamat dahil naibunyag na raw po yung illegal na gawain, tsaka gusto nila ng pagbabago. Tumatawag yung sinabi niya. It means may telepono po sa loob ng mga preso, ng piitan.
Kailangan makausap ko si Secretary Viet Aguirre para alamin ko sa kanya kung ano yung ibig sabihin niya dun sa tumatawag.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sir, since earlier you said that President Duterte will bring up the South China Sea dispute in Vietnam, do we know his activities there and who he will be meeting, like which officials he'll be meeting with, and what are his activities?
Hindi ko pa alam, wala pa akong schedule sa darating na working visit ni Presidente sa Vietnam. But rest assured that we will provide you the Malacanang press corps.
Okay, thank you, MPC Secretary.
Okay. Our resource person is a respected man in the field of business, finance, and investment community or communities here and abroad. For 22 years, Secretary Mon Lopez has served the business sector as a top executive of RFM Corporation and has handled strategic planning and business development, mergers and acquisitions, and equity investors group. He started a solid professional economic trade and industry development career in government, including the Presidential Management Staff, the Department of Trade and Industry, and National Economic Development Authority. Secretary Lopez topped his Master's in Development Economics class at Williams College in Massachusetts, USA, and finished his AB Economic degree at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. And prior to his appointment to President Duterte's cabinet, Mr. Lopez has been the Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship, Go Negocios, Executive Director for the past 11 years, where he led entrepreneurship advocacy promoting the enterprising culture among Filipinos. Ladies and gentlemen of the Malacanang Press Corps, let us all welcome DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez. Palakpak naman.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you. Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Thank you, Ms. Rocky. So, ano ba? Present.
Yes, sir. May statement kayo, sir. You can make your statement first, sir.
Okay, so wala ho tayong prepared statement kung hindi basically all probably what we have done in the since July 1 or even before July 1 when we assumed office. Immediately, we tackled on the critical projects that President Duterte has promised to the people. Kasama na po dyan yung improving the business climate, yung ease of doing business, streamlining procedures. Siyempre, ang mandato po natin from the President to really help the micro and small entrepreneurs para paganda ang kabuhayan, basically ng buong bayan natin, lahat ng mga Pilipino, at yun naman po ang naking advocacy natin prior to joining government. Yung mga matulungan, yung mga maliliit at mga aspiring negosyante na talagang magtagumpay din sila. Of course, kasama sa programa natin sa DTI, I can summarize it into 3 words, trabaho at negosyo. So, ang main task din natin, makapag-promote ang mga maunlad at innovative, globally competitive na mga industriya, mga kumpanya na mag-e-employ that will create decent jobs for the Filipinos. But just like any country, kahit develop na po ang mga bayan, meron pa rin tinatawag na unemployment rate, mga unemployed. Doon naman sa mga unemployed, ina-encourage natin sila, marami pa rin opportunity para magnegosyo. Ang kasabihan po, success is for those who want it most. So we try to change the mindset of many Filipinos na ang tagumpay, pwedeng makamtan kahit sino. Ang tagumpay, walang pinipiling background, kesyo nagtapos o hindi nagtapos sa pag-aaral. galing sa mahirap or galing sa mayaman na pamilya, kahit sino po pwede talaga magtagumpay. So this is the kind of mindset na itinutulak natin sa lahat ng ating mga kababayan at basically wanting to have an entrepreneurial nation. To us, this is the lasting solution, pangmatagalang solution sa poverty, sa kahirapan. Okay, na parang sabi nga natin noon, change is coming, ngayon change has come, and we always say that change should come from within. Yung from within, changing our mindset, changing the way we think, changing our attitude, that we can also do it, we can make it, and make it big. At pag tayo nagtagumpay, tinuturo rin po natin mag-share at tumulong din sa iba. So ang pagtatagumpay, we also, at least in the DTI and even in our previous advocacy po, tinutulak po natin yung pagpalit ng mindset, pati yung kaalaman. How to. Kaya nga po sa DTI, meron tayong mga negosyo centers na ini-establish. Kasunod po yun ng Go Negosyo Act, yung batas na ipinasa at in-initiate po nila Senator Bam Aquino, sila Senator Cynthia Villar, na magtayo ng mga negosyo centers around the country. Sa ngayon po, mga 307 negosyo centers na po ang mga naitayo. In fact, just the other day, nasa Las Piñas po kami at nagtayo rin kami ng isang negosyo center sa Las Piñas, doon po sa Social Enterprise or Social Enterprise Center ni Senator Villar. Nag-donate siya ng isang lugar doon para may negosyo center din doon. Yung negosyo center, ito po yung pinupuntahan ng mga kahit sinong Pilipino, hindi kailangan may connection, hindi kailangan may kakilala. Pupunta roon, magtatanong, paano ho ba mag-umpisa ng negosyo? Ano ho ba ang magandang negosyo? Ano ang mga kailangang malaman para either mag-umpisa o magpalaki ng negosyo? Kasi pwede rin pumunta doon kahit may existing negosyo na. Paano ho mag-register sa barangay micro-business enterprises that will allow them a 2-year income tax holiday? Na dati po, meron ng ganyang batas, hindi ho masyadong na-implement. Paano, saan ho kami pwedeng manghiram ng kapital? So, meron hong ililink din sila sa source of capital, microfinance institutions. Ano ho ba ang mga sino ho ba ang mga posibleng buyer pag ganito ang gagawin ko? Market information. And then access to mentoring. Yun nga, pagtuturuan sila paano magsimula. So, sa negosyo center, pwede rin mag-register na ng business names. In some negosyo centers, lalo na pag nasa LGU, ibig sabihin, binigyan sila ng space ng mga mayors, doon sa mga munisipyo, pwede rin ang business permit application na. So end-to-end. Pag-apply ng pangalan, business name, meron na ring business permit pagkatapos. So yun po ang isang ilan lang sa mga programa, pagtulong sa micro SMEs. Kasama din sa, idudugtungan ko na rin po, access to machines or equipment. At ito po yung binibigay din ng DTI, itong mga shared service facilities na as of since we started, we were able to give around 55 new shared service facilities. Ito malaki na ang numero nito, nasa over 2,000 na po ito. Ang numero ng mga shared service facilities. Ito ho yung mga common service facilities, mga either sewing machines, weaving machines, decorticating machines, yung na mga katulong sa productivity at sa production process ng ng isang grupo ng mga negosyante. Kunwari, cooperative sa kahit anong probinsya, sabihin mo sa Antique, sa Iloilo, sa Batangas, bibigyan yan ng mga equipment na mga katulong sa production activities nung cooperative na yon para mas mabilis ang pag-produce ng mga produkto. So, mukhang gusto nating mag-Q&A na. Sige,
Yes.
pwede na rin.
Okay, Salarina Del Mundo. Thank you, Secretary. Salarina Del Mundo. Microphone.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon
Sir, during my interview with you at DTI, you mentioned that there was this invitation from Japanese government for a road show by you're eyeing like October or November. Will this push through, and which will come first, the trip of the president or the road show?
Palagay ko po mauuna yung trip of the president kasi meron ng potential date. Kung di ako nagkakamali, sometime end October. Wala pa rin sa amin po yung formal announcement. Ang alam po namin, i-finalize po yun. Yung roadshow naman po can happen anytime. At kung mamarapatin, we might be able to bring a group of business delegation, mga group of businessmen na isasama natin dun sa working state visit.
Ano sir yung agenda if ever of the President's trip to Japan?
At least from the economic side, nakikita natin yung pagtutulak ng greater trade activities, mas lumaki pa ang ating exports. Ang Japan government, in fact, Japan is our biggest trading partner, no? Number 1 po yan. At the Japanese people in general, they've been very supportive of the Philippines. In fact, meron po tayong positive and positive trade surplus, no? Positive trade balance with Japan. I think our trade magnitude is about $18 billion. At we export 12 billion and we import from Japan 6 billion. So ibig sabihin, ganun kalaki ang ating trade surplus, $6 billion. So they've been in effect very supportive. They buy a lot of products from us, and I think this is one country na talagang tingin namin mapapalaki palalo ang pag-trade, no? Malaki rin na itulong. In fact, nakita namin malaki yung naging growth nito mula nung pumasok tayo dun sa Philippine-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement, PJEPA, na maganda talaga yung naging export performance natin doon. In other words, malaki yung naging benepisyo sa atin.
Are we expecting any agreement to be signed with Japan during that trip?
Frankly po, wala po kaming nawo-work out dahil meron na po tayong in effect free trade agreement sa kanila, economic agreement. At maganda ang relationship. I'm sure mapapalakas pa natin to with that state visit.
Sir, phone-in question lang ito. Can you please tell us about the upcoming meeting in the country on the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership among ASEAN countries as announced by the President in Laos? Who will take part and what's the objective daw?
So, ang objective po nung RCEP is that itong Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, ito ho talaga is to strengthen further yung ating trading relationship with all the participating countries. Sino po ang kasali dito? It would be the ASEAN, the 10 countries. And in effect, ASEAN will expand the kind of partnership that we have beyond ASEAN. Ibig sabihin, isasama po dyan ang Japan, Korea, China. Nandyan din po ang Australia, New Zealand, India. So, each of these countries mayroon ng mga ASEAN bilateral relationship, yung tinatawag na ASEAN +1. Ang nangyayari ngayon, parang sama-sama itong 6 na countries with ASEAN, magkakaroon tayo ng wider parang free trade area. Ang free trade can include either goods or non-goods, no? At yun po ang maganda po dito. It means wider trade partnership. This means also beyond the 620 million ASEAN, at sa China lang, ang laki na ng population, mas malaking market para sa ating mga exporters. Pinupush din po dyan mga MSME development, meaning to say if we can train our MSMEs na maging globally prepared, makapag-export sila, mag-supply at makasama sila sa global value chain. So pwedeng yung mga kumpanya from other countries bibili na ng mga produkto ng mga MSMEs. So talagang lalawak lalo ang mga oportunidad sa pagnenegosyo. At ito po talagang dinutulak ni President Duterte na mapalaking MSMEs at bigyan lahat ng opportunity. Paano ba sila maka-expand ng kanilang market, no? Kasama po yan when we talk of MSME development. Locally po, dudugtungan ko na rin, in fact, with the help of President Duterte, nagtatry po kami increase yung market access by, for example, allowing MSME products in mainstream market. Tulad ng nabisita po namin nung huling bisita sa Indonesia. Nakita natin yung paano na-display, na-bebenta ang mga MSME products sa regular market, hindi lamang sa trade fair na mga 3 araw sa isang taon. No? Kung hindi, nandun sila everyday nabebenta. So, naghahanap po kami ng marami pang pwesto kung saan pwedeng i-display itong micro SME products. Meron na kaming mga nakausap na malls. Ito siguro nabalitaan nyo na, inumpisahan na namin ng pagpausap para bigyan ng pwesto ang mga best of OTOP, yung best of MSME product na nandyan na sa mall. At magaganda to, parang comparable and competitive versus the other products in the mall. Nakausap na namin ang isang malaking mall, or sabihin na natin pinakamalaking mall kahapon, at very open sila dun sa konsepto na to. The other malls, the other 2 malls na malalaki, very positive on the concept, in providing dun pa lang sa pasukan ng mall, mainstream daanan, hindi nasa sulok, hindi nasa 5th floor, nasa ground floor, bibigyan tayo ng pwesto para talaga available na itong mga produkto na to. At meron na kaming brand na pinropose, Go Local. In a way, suggesting na local products, pero social ang dating. May siya, leveled up na mga Philippine products. So, market access, very important. Ito po binibigay bino-workout ng DTI dahil mandato ni President, pagandahin natin ang merkado ng mga MSME, mas marami silang maibenta. Hindi lamang sa trade fair. Kasama na doon yung we are promoting everywhere we go, yung talking to big companies. Sasabihin namin sa big companies, tulungan naman natin yung mga maliliit nating MSMEs at gawin natin silang, let's say, supplier ng mga raw materials natin. Organize natin yung grupo ng farmers, yung mga pananim nila, bili natin kung tayo ay nasa food or restaurant business. So inclusive business, big brother, small brother approach. That's increasing market access din ng mga maliliit na negosyante. And that's very important po. Bibilin yung produkto ng MSME hindi dahil naaawa, kung hindi dahil kailangan ko yan sa negosyo. Kesa sa iba ko bumili, kesa sa trader, diretso na akong bibili dun sa mga maliliit na negosyante.
Sir, last, may specific date na ba kung kailan yung RCEP dito sa Philippines?
Merong November meeting in ASEAN that will hopefully discuss further yung kung ma-finalize natin yung RCEP. Kung hindi man, as you know, tayo po ang ASEAN chair for next year, 2017. So, isa po sa itutulak din natin yung pagpa-finalize ng RCEP.
Pia Rañado, to be followed by Ace.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good
As
afternoon.
Trade Secretary and businessman, how do you think President Duterte's unpredictability in the form of his aggressive statements affect investor confidence in the Philippines?
Una-una, tingin ko po hindi ho unpredictable. Kasi si President Duterte, tingin po namin, even sa business sector, siya po talaga determined lang to help the Filipino people, to ensure peace, security, drug-free, illegal drug-free. Ayun din po ang pangako sa ASEAN, nagkakasundo doon. At siya po talagang is just after our welfare. In fact, pag may nagtatanong sa akin about itong mga EJK, human rights, ang una ko pong sagot talaga, personal ko po ito, hindi po kami nag-usap ni Presidential Gonzalo, spokesperson, PCO secretary, na hindi ko kami nag-usap how to answer, pero ako personally, ang sagot ko doon, ano ho ba yung EJK? Kung lumaban yung pulis dahil lumalaban yung inuhuli niya, right to self-defense. May rules of engagement pong sinusunod ang mga kapulisan. Yung nakikitang ibang mga killings, I believe those are non-police work, mga vigilantes, or if not, which we do not, ang alam ko po, ang government does not sanction. At may mga investigation na gagawin. At kung meron man na hindi rin natin alam kung saan nanggagaling, baka sila yung nagpapatayan, meaning yung mga drug lords mismo, naguunahan sila. So, wala ho talagang official action that will suggest na EJK, extrajudicial. May investigation ang ginagawa dun sa mga hindi ma-explain at parang we consider them maybe murders and all that. May investigation na mga ginagawa. Pero tingin ko po hindi ho EJK yun. Yun ang unang position at pag naimbita rin tayo nakakausap mga investors, yun ang una namin in-explain. Pangalawa, there are over, I think, 700,000 peaceful arrest. Ibig sabihin, wala namang namatay. Basta nag-arrest, ay sumuko ng mabuti, ay ano naman po sila, na-aresto ng matino at wala pong namamatay at walang nasusugatan. So, ang dami po nun. Compared to whatever 2,000 na sinasabing mga killings, ay marami hong na-arrest na peaceful. At in fact, sa 3 million na users, sila na ho ang lumalantad. Napaka-peaceful po. So, the way we look at this, all these are redounding to a peaceful, much peaceful environment. And I'm sure the business sector, the investors, would feel safer. They can go out in the street, hindi na ho natatakot. In fact, isang statistics na nakita ko, I don't know kung updated, na bumaba raw ang crime rate by 5,500. Siguro by now, mas mababa pa. 5,500. Ang laki, ang daming nawalang krimen na supposedly siguro nangyari na. Compared to, yun na nga, no? Compared to last year po yun. Laki ng binaba. So, that to us is a good assurance na yung pinangako ni President Duterte, yung Agenda Zero, Peace and Order, Security, at no to illegal drugs, no to corruption, ang laki ho ng benefits the way we look at it from the business sector. And this is what the investors are also, considering right now. To them, this is a much improved and a stronger Philippine Republic. And
So just
peaceful pa.
Just to follow up, sir, you said, I'm sure the businessmen feel much safer. Is this something you've asked them in a conference? Like, how do you
Hindi
know?
po, kasi SMDTI receives a lot of business delegation, mga, of course, foreign embassies, mga bisita po from other countries. Japanese, UK, EU.
They all agree that they feel
And
much
just
safer.
even siguro yung kanina may question on mga EU, no? In fact, just before this meeting here, ang ka-meeting ko rin ho yung EU ambassador, at in fact hindi ho namin napapag-usapan kung ano man yung mga recent issue kasi iba ho talaga economic to them. In fact, we have an EU GSP or EU GSP Plus, at we are talking of a free trade agreement also with EU. Tuloy-tuloy po yung discussions natin doon. In fact, gusto nga namin matapos na. May mga rounds of discussion, tuloy po yun. I think December, there'll be another round, and hopefully we can finalize an FTA with the EU. Beyond December, kasi may third round yung December, at bago yon siguro next year, meron tayong ma-finalize na ng FTA. To us, it's siguro much better pa kung mas maaga. Because that will mean more access of Philippine products to the EU market.
Okay. Raymond Tinasa, then Ace Romero.
Just the press on the SNP outlook. So how do we reconcile when what you are saying by the sense of the business sector, they are, approval of the Duterte policies, but how do we reconcile with that of the SNP saying that there are weaknesses on the Duterte's policy?
Sorry, weaknesses?
Yes.
Hindi ko talaga maintindihan lang yung kung saan yung weaknesses. Sana i-specify nila. On the economy po, all the fundamentals still are okay. In fact, manufacturing growth 8.1%, much faster than the 4% in the past. Itong 8.1%, much faster than the 4.1% ng mga past 5 years. Foreign direct investment mismo ay over 100% growth. Yung BOI registered investment 93% growth. Just on I'm talking of the July alone, no? And the first half as well, halos doble ang investment figure, and yung growth rate na 7%, no? So maganda ho yung fundamentals. Foreign exchange reserves close to $80 billion. Relatively stable foreign exchange, inflation 1.9%. Everything seems to be working well sa larangan ng mga economic fundamentals, sa larangan ng negosyo. And now more than ever, in fact yung nakwento kong negosyo centers that we've opened up. So ngayon 300 plus na, over 330,000 na po ang mga natutulungan ng mga negosyo centers. Nagtayo na rin kami ng OFW desk dahil bilin sa atin ni President, yung lalo na yung mga umuwing Saudi OFWs, mabigyan ng kaalaman, ng opportunity, malaman paano magnegosyo, magtayo ng negosyo. So lahat ng 300 plus negosyo centers may OFW desk na doon.
So you can say categorically that none of the chambers of businessmen in the country ever raised the EGK as an area of concern in doing business.
Yung nakikita natin, yung nasa newspaper siguro sa media. Pero pagka Chamber of Commerce, yung mga negosyante, we all talk about commerce, trade. Ibig sabihin, pag ninegosyo, and tuloy lang po yan.
Sir, last point. Do we have any infrastructure projects in the pipeline to further enhance and how do you call that?
Yung encourage
Encourage investment in the country. Considering we are lacking much.
Oo. Yun ho, actually more on the DPWH and the OTC, on the investment infrastructure. So we talk about port development, they're talking about airports, roads, farm-to-market roads. So, yun po, tinatackle ng mga agencies na yun. And as you know, we have a higher or a bigger fiscal space that will allow us a 5% to GDP infrastructure budget. So, mas malaking infrastructure. So, yun po, inaabangan na nating ma-implement, and those will help attract more investments.
Thank you, sir.
Ace Romero?
Secretary, balikan ko lang yung SNP. So, you do not agree with the statement of the SNP that the predictability of policy making under the new administration has diminished?
Oo, sorry po, Mr. Ace. Ang tingin ko kasi, policy making has not changed. Nabanggit ni Secretary Martin kanina yung policy to honor all contracts, agreements, policy to protect investments. They are here. I mean, may mga tinatawag natin investment protection that will give peace of mind sa mga investors. Yung ating mga FTA agreements, trade agreements, they are all being honored. Itong mga commitment natin sa ASEAN, WTO, APEC, lahat po yun, they stay. And in fact, we are even strengthening it. So if you talk of trade and industry policies, tuloy-tuloy po yun. And you are familiar with the 10-point socio-economic agenda. Lahat po yun ay priority. We are all working towards the fulfillment ng agenda na yun. No? In our case, yung nakwento natin, streamlining, tuloy-tuloy na. Yung business permits licensing, ewan ko po kung nabalitaan ninyo na pirmahan po tayo sa DILG dahil they will take care of the LGUs to encourage LGUs at saka DICT for the automation, yung business permits and licenses process from 8 to 10 days average ngayon na ibababa natin sa 2 days. 2 days meron ka ng business permits because in other cities and municipalities kaya kahit 30 minutes. So yun po yung benchmark eh. So it's just a matter of replicating what's being done dun sa mas advanced na mga city when it comes to business permits and licensing at i-replicate sa lahat ng cities and municipalities. Kaya po merong joint memorandum circular that we signed with DILG to help us really implement a shortened, streamlined business permits and licensing procedure. In fact, when the President heard that, sabi niya, palakasin pa natin. If you want, we can issue an EO. Talagang gustong bigyan pa ng tulak ni President yung pagpapaikli, pag-streamline ng pagkuha ng business permits. So, ito rin, medyo siguro yung iba nag-comment, parang siguro si President din lang po siguro alam ng marami. Pagdating sa pag-push ng mga economic reforms, nandyan po siya, nasa likod po namin. Sinensure niya yung streamlining, yung pagtulong sa MSME. Lahat yan ay may tulak mula sa Presidente.
Okay, thank you, Secretary. Meron pang last question, si Henry Uli.
Secretary, in terms of foreign investment, may napadagdag ba kung mayroon? Gaano kalaki?
Yung sinasabi ko po ay nagdoble nga siya mula January to July. Hindi ko lang makuha pa ngayon yung July mismo. Pero marami din po doon pumasok nung July. Pwede ko kayo balikan doon sa number mismo nung July. No? But January to July ay double ang ating more than double. Ang FDI that came in, pati yung nag-register sa BOI. So ibig sabihin, ito pong confidence sa confidence sa new administration ay nandun. In fact, we expect more application. Which, as mentioned kanina, marami ho tayong kinakausap mga investors. Some are indicating to come in and to confirm their investment. Ito pong second half. Recently, nabasa nyo rin sa dyaryo, may Polish investment. First time in the Philippines. Investment from Poland. Yung investment po talaga, dumarating din po yan. Because, number one, yung the way they see yung consumption spending, the economy, that at the rate we're growing, the demographic dividend na sinasabi, ibig sabihin, young population, employed, may pambili, a bigger and much bigger and growing consumer market na lumalaki sa Pilipinas mismo, 109 million, and yet, pag dito pa sila nag-produce, they can avail of the ASEAN bigger market of 620 million. That's the extra incentive to them. When they produce in the Philippines, hindi lang Filipino ang kanilang market. Pwede rin pong ASEAN dahil zero tariff sila pag pumasok doon. At zero tariff din pag pumasok doon sa mga ibang ASEAN plus one partner natin. Yung nabanggit ko kanina mga bansa.
Any subsidy or loan assistance sa mga gustong magsimula ng maliit na negosyo?
Siguro hindi po natin tawaging subsidy. Minsan may negative impression. Pero tulong na sinasabi, kunwari access to capital, we have over 200 microfinance institutions. Kahit saan po silang probinsya, municipality, meron pong access to finance. Yung tulong na free mentoring, free seminars na ginagawa ng DTI at yung mga kapartner namin PCCI, Go Negosyo, lahat po yun ginagawa po. In fact, ngayon meron kaming kapatid program nga, public-private partnership na kapartner ng Go Negosyo, PCCI, ECO, Federation of Filipino-Chinese, Association of Filipino Franchisers, etc. No? Pati Philippine Franchise Association, lahat po yun, private sector tumutulong sa gobyerno para mag-mentor sa mga MSME. So maganda ho ang pagtutulungan ngayon, government, private, at ang tumutulong yung may experience sa negosyo, no? So to add on to what government is doing, free seminars, free mentorship, access to finance, access also to the market, yung kinuwento po natin kanina. Ngayon po meron ding government procurement na ibig sabihin, kunwari, DPWH, nangangailangan ng mga GeoNets, yung mga COCOQUAR, kukunin or bibili nila mula dun sa mga social enterprise na tinulungan ng DTI, binigyan ng yung SSF projects, yung gumagawa ng GeoNets for some communities, yung produce nila, binibili na ng Department of Public Works and Highways para pang yung mga repropping function, yung imbis na semento, COCOQUAR ang ilalagay. That's a big market, helping also mga micro SMEs natin.
Okay, thank you, Henry. Okay na. Thank you, Secretary.
Sige. Thank you po.
Ramon Lopez. Secretary Andanar. Thank you. Thank you, Malacanang Press Corps. Back to our main studio sa Radyo ng Bayan at PTV Channel 4.